So in the TFV8 review I just posted a couple days ago, I didn't vape on the RBA section. Hell, I didn't even really talk about it. Maybe a little bit, maybe a few words, but I wanted to focus more on those coil heads and then come back and do a review on the V8 RBA section. And that's what I'm going to be doing right now. It comes with a pre-installed dual Clapton build reading at 0.28 ohms. I'm vaping at 70 watts, and 70 watts with this build to me is a really, really warm vape. The flavors are chucking, man. Chucking the flavor and the vapor, you guys see it. Oh yeah, the vapors are coming. Airflow, smooth, you hear that? Smooth as a baby's bottom. So here's the deal with this build. Buku of vapor, a buku of warmth, dense, man. It's a dense vape. The flavor is top notch, but is the flavor as good as the coil heads? No, it's not. Not with this pre-installed build, but it's still kick ass. Also, another thing, with this pre-installed build, I tend to get spit back if I chain vape. A lot more spit back with the RBA section than I did with the coil heads, especially the hotter it gets and the more that you chain vape. It's not horrible, but it's there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dive down. I'm going to show you the rebuildable section, how I wicked it, you know, the coil. I'm going to show you the pre-installed coil once again, show you piece by piece how this thing goes back together, comes apart. Then we're going to pop the Juggernaut build in there. I'm going to wick it, come back, vape it, and let you know my final thoughts. So here's the V8 RBA section like I showed you guys in the TFV8 review. Now, I'm going to give you another look at her. You got the feed slots right here, juice feed slots. Here's the top cap, comes off, and then underneath the hood, they include a pre-installed 0.28 Clapton build, baby. So I've been vaping on this thing for about 3 days. That was the last time I changed out the cotton. And what I've been doing, pull out the cotton, dry burn it, glow the coils, clean them up, pop new wick in. And I've been rocking. So I've disassembled this bad boy, pulled out the pre-installed 0.28 ohm Clapton builds. You got the base section, the positive post, the deck section, and then the top cap slash barrel section. First is the top cap slash barrel section, and again, I am going to emphasize, look at those threads. Threads down here at the base. I don't know if you guys can see that, but they're not the smoothest. They're a little janky. It's hard for them to catch at times. Smock, you gotta fix it. You gotta smooth out these threads. Make them a little bit beefier if you can. It'll be that much better, I'm telling you. Next on the list is this positive post, and as you guys can see, you got the 2mm slots, lead slots, your hex screws, side mount screws. Down here you got your insulator, your peak insulator. And here's the deck section without the positive post. You got the negative post, which is built into the deck. You got your 2mm lead slots, side mount hex screws, bottom airflow, giant slots, one slot on one side, one slot on the other, juice flow canal, one slot on one side, one slot on the other. They're completely open, not even split off. That's pretty cool. And also you got your threads down here, which screw into the base of the tank. Positive post press fits into the center, like so. Hold the positive post down, base section screws into the positive connection. Make sure she's tight. So how the airflow works is it travels up underneath the base, through these slots right here underneath each coil. And also the deck section is 18mm in diameter. I mean, that's a lot of room, guys. When you're done doing your builds and your wicks, you pop on the top cap slash barrel section. Again, it takes a minute for it to catch, but it does. And that's a V8 RBA section all broken down and put back together. So today I'm going to be pre-installing these Coilmaster coils, and they're calling these the Juggernaut coils, and they're not the Juggernaut coils. These are the Transformer coils. They're actually a bump up from the Juggernaut coils. The Juggernaut coils are 2 strands of regular wire with ribbon wrapped around it. The first tutorial that I saw of a guy building a Juggernaut coil, he was using 24 gauge Kanthal, sitting parallel with 0.5 ohm ribbon wrapped around it. These are 2 strands of Clapton wire with ribbon wrapped around it. Now, I don't know exactly what they're using, what Coilmaster is using for these coils, and if any of you guys out there know exactly what they're using, what Coilmaster's using for these Transformer coils, please post it down in the comments section. So here's what one of the Transformer coils look like. Like I said, 2 strands of Clapton wire sitting parallel with ribbon wrapped around it. Beautiful coils. Oh yeah, and these coils are about 3mm in diameter, maybe a touch less. Install the first coil. Tighten down the first lead. Now, I will say this. These grub nuts or hex screws, they strip out. This is the biggest con to this deck. When I went to disassemble the pre-installed coil, one of the hex screws was stripped all the way, and it was a bitch getting out. So I'll tighten both leads for the first coil, lift it up, straighten it out. Now we gotta clip the leads. So I got the second coil in there. Got to go ahead and clip those leads. So I got both transformer coils installed, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse it, because anytime you're using coils like this, coils like Clapton coils, you're going to get small debris when you clip it, and you want to make sure you get all that crap out before you put your cotton in, because the last thing you want to do is inhale that shit. So I'm going to clean her out, wash her off, give her a good rinse. We'll come back and we'll wick her. So I cleaned off the coils, and you know what? Before we wick her, I almost forgot. We got to make sure she glows from the inside out on both sides, both coils. Alrighty, so I got both my coils glowing from the inside out even, baby. I got more organic Japanese cotton in there, and it's fluffed out on the ends. Now remember, a little bit of cotton goes a long way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just juice it up and tuck it in. Now the way I like to do it is tuck it all the way over on each side. I like to keep it to where there's space in the middle for that juice to flow. I find it wicks the best that way. See that? Little space in there. You don't want to stuff the whole section with cotton. Same thing on the other side, you want that space in the middle. Top cap. Yeah, boy. Alrighty, so that's a breakdown of this V8 RBA section. That's me installing this transformer build. Let's go ahead and take her back to FaceTime Vape on her, let you know what I think about this RBA section, what I think about the coil build that's in here, and then we'll wrap this sucker up. Golly, look how much vapor production this freaking transformer build is producing. It's insane. So as you guys can see, that transformer build is a chuckifying it. Chuck tits. Yeah, it is. The flavor's good. It's intense, man. It's better than the pre-installed Clapton build they put in here. Definitely better, but it's hotter. It's a lot hotter. I mean, I'm vaping this thing where I was vaping it at 85 watts on this Relo 200S, and it was just kicking it. It's definitely a lot warmer than the coil heads at 85 watts. A lot warmer, but this is off the RBA section. It just is what it is. 3 cons I found for this RBA section. 1, the hex screws. Strip city, man. 2, the threads. Threads are janky, smoke. Fix those 2 cons, and then the third one is going to be subjective, but it spits back, especially after you chain vape and chain vape and chain vape. Other than that, man, you get tons of room to build on. You get plenty of airflow, smooth airflow, and it's easy as hell to insert your builds because it's got that velocity style deck. Also, the lead terminals are just large enough to pop your massive Clapton builds in. So I guess the big question is, when I run out of coil heads for this TFV8, am I going to vape on the RBA section, or am I going to move on to the next product? Well, I mean, if the hex screws hold up, then hell yeah I will, but if they don't, I'm moving on to the next one. Ain't nobody got time for that. This is Rep Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now. Threads, janky threads, the freaking